Guys, I have a confession to make. I know some things that, well, normal people wouldn't. How do I say this? I know more things than a typical person. I don't want to sound pretentious, but, well, I do. I do know more than most. But, of course, I'm not just here to tell you I'm smart. I have to prove it to you somehow. Okay, on with the proving. So, when I found out I was this amazing smart person, I was no more than 4 years old. I started attending school, and there was no challenge present. I decided it would be the best choice for me to skip a few grades, and I could have some challenge in my education. After I passed the bar at age 12, I was done, or so I thought. I proceeded to get a doctorate in my sleep. Really easy. Okay, anyway, all this is just a precursor to what I'm about to say. See, all my 8.5 years of school have taught me many things. Not friendship. Wish it did. But it doesn't. Yeah, it's really too bad. Oh, what am I doing? Oh yeah, many other things I've learned from this. I know how the universe works, I know how to find the long side of a right triangle, but most importantly, I know that the Earth is flat. Ah yes, where do I start? The math and science nerds are quivering with every word I say.
I think you should start with the water.
Charlie, what did I say about coming to my room? Get out!
Okay.
Okay, so I think it's only appropriate that I start with the water. So, it's a popular belief that people need water. Well, not really a belief, it's a fact nowadays, but it wasn't always this way. See, back before the year 1500, people didn't need water. It was simply a refreshment shared by the rich. Water was very scarce at the time. It could only be found in wells with a water source at the bottom. Not a lot of people knew this, but before the year 1500, the ocean as we know it today would just be a big field of salt that had collected over time. This was, of course, until Copernicus had plans to change the world for the better. He constructed plans to build a seawall made of ice higher than the Empire State Building surrounding the planet. Amazingly, after 2 years of hard work, his plan became a reality. Suddenly, the crater known as Victoria started to overflow with water, creating this river that would go on to become the Nile. After a few days, the oceans were full and the water drinkers became more prevalent members of society because they controlled the now needed water. All the people started drinking water, but there was a problem. The water was draining quickly. Stop, stop, yelled the original water drinkers. You're taking all the water, but the people didn't care. They were loving the refreshing taste of water, and it was becoming a necessity to everyone. If everyone needs water, no one will have enough to drink, said a wise old man. So the residents of Lake Victoria voted and chose to build a dam. The dam came with massive repercussions to everyone on the planet. Everyone who was not living around Lake Victoria was suffering from a terrible drought, and since everyone needed water now, everyone died. The people in Lake Victoria, however, were just flooded. They were alive, but forced to stay on top of the dam so they wouldn't drown. This is coincidentally where Noah made his ark. It wasn't God's flood, but it was just the flooding of the water source in Lake Victoria. Ah, the story of Noah's Ark. I was there, you know. He was the original deforester. Yes, he cut down all the trees and built the biggest boat the world has ever seen. They called it the Gigantic. He had plans to save every single animal on the earth, not just 2 of each kind. The boat was the size of Saturn itself. He also built a smaller boat just as a luxury for him and his family. Unfortunately, while out sailing one day, the Gigantic hit the Victoria Dam and sank in the most spectacular loss of life in history. Thankfully, however, Adam and Eve survived the crash together and repopulated the entire animal population. Since the dam was broken in the crash, the oceans were full from the moment Adam and Eve woke up from their respective comas. Adam and Eve lived happily for the next few years until they got bored of Lake Victoria and decided to go out on an adventure. On that adventure, Adam saw something in the distance. It was Noah's personal smaller boat. It was in this boat that Adam and Eve would go on the most important journey of their lives. Adam suggested to Eve that they use this boat to sail all the way around the round world. So, Adam and Eve set out on their journey. On the first day, they managed to make it to the end of the Nile and entered the Mediterranean Sea. On the second day, they made it to the mouth of the Mediterranean. The third day is the most important, though. On the third day, they were sleeping below deck when they hit a huge block of ice as tall as the Empire State Building.
Ahoy!
Said a mysterious voice in the distance. Hello? Responded Adam.
It is I, Copernicus. Why have you rammed into my sacred wall?
Oh, good sir, I didn't mean to do so. We were asleep. Why do you have this great wall of ice in the middle of the ocean?
Oh, this isn't the middle of the ocean. It is the end of the flat earth.
No, it's not, you imbecile. The earth is round as it's always been.
No, the earth is flat. I can prove it. Do you want to come up here and look and see for yourself?
Yes, I would, but how would I get up there? It's as tall as the Empire State Building.
Same way I did,
Copernicus says as he throws down a ladder. Thank you. Copernicus, Adam, and Eve had a long day looking out into the void of outer space. At one point, Copernicus even took them to the top of the sky dome to get a better look at everything. Adam and Eve realized how wrong they were and would never pass down that the world was round to their children. This tradition of living in truth lasted for generations until the birth of Christopher Columbus in 1919. He had this outlandish idea that the earth was round and that he could sail to the other side of the planet if he just sailed left. After months of sailing the Atlantic, Columbus made landfall in the Caribbean. Falsely believing that he had reached Japan, Columbus thought that he did it. The news of Columbus reaching Japan spread throughout the world, and everyone accepted the idea of the round earth. This is where we introduce Johnny. Born in 1900, upon the news of the round earth in 1920, Johnny didn't believe the big news companies. He was going to prove that the earth was flat. Having experience working as a car mechanic at his local Pep Boys, he decided to build a rocket that would fly high enough for him to take pictures of the perfectly flat earth. Sadly, due to a miscalculation, Johnny flew too high and was involved in a fatal crash with the invisible sky dome. The news of Johnny's flight was widespread to the four corners of the flat earth, and to this day, Johnny is remembered as a martyr for the flat earth cause. Even after Johnny's flight in 1920, the public was not finished with their transgressions. When the US was founded in 1976, they adopted the round earth model. To this day, nobody knows why they did, but they did, and for some reason the rest of the world did it too. Maybe it had something to do with the US winning World War II in 1982. To this day, the idea of the earth being round is widely believed, and this documentary is meant to serve as a message and provide reasoning for my belief in the flat earth.